to Candid Convos with Nurse E. If you have not met me, I am Nurse E, and I am here with a very special guest, you guys. All my guests are very special. I am here today with Kristen Rivers. Say hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. And I know Kristen from college.
Yeah.
We went to college together at Liberty University. At the time, were you taking up nursing or did you take up something different?
That's a long story.
Short version.
Originally, yes. That's what I went to college for. That was going to be my major. Started off prereqs, nursing. That's what I was doing. Got a little sidetracked. As you know, most people know, nursing is
tough.
No joke.
Yeah.
So I don't think at the time I was prepared for the focus part.
Yeah.
Had a little help being sidetracked. Met my husband in college.
We know we're not going to throw no shade over there. We have a studio audience today, you guys.
So I ended up changing my major, but it was after like 2.5 years. I was already just, I had tried to get into the nursing program. I think I had not done well in a couple of my prereqs. I had to take them over, try it again, and didn't get in. I was like, you know what? Let me just change my major. Change my major to family and child development.
Okay.
Wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it. I was just kind of thinking of the next kind of thing that I'm interested in. I've always been, interested in like family and children, women, and all that stuff. So I was like, let me just pick this because I was like, I can for sure like do well, and I did do well at it. And then didn't quite finish that either. I actually got pregnant with my son. I think like after 4 years. So I was already in my 5th year, and so I left.
Okay.
I don't like having regrets, but I wish I would have just finished it. Because I only had like, I want to say, maybe like 4 more classes and I would have been done.
Right.
But the mind space I was in at the time, I knew that I didn't want to be showing there. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So ended up just going back home and I was like, I'll finish online. And I never really finished my degree there. But
that's okay.
Here we are.
That's okay. Here we are.
Way
past that.
Yes.
But one positive thing. I'm saying one, but there's multiple. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you guys, we want to sit and we want to focus on how something didn't pan out the way that we thought it should have. And we don't look at the positive things that came out of something that we just weren't expecting.
Right.
So the positivity is, you got married, you started a family. Those things are important, you guys. Careers are important, and we will get to careers, but you having a family is important. And also you taking those child development classes helps with mothering, helps with, the type of nursing that you do now. So eventually you went into nursing and you work as a labor and delivery nurse. And so those things that you learned, how have they helped you in that aspect of finally getting to what Kristen wanted to get to, but also bringing in, what you didn't expect as well?
So I feel like that was a part of my purpose. I didn't know it at the time, but it definitely was a part of my purpose. After I had my son, I went into childcare, and I did that for about 5 years. I had 2 years later, I had my second son, and I feel like being in the hospital those times is where my passion for nursing started to come back. And I feel like I had the best experiences. And I know a lot of people have different things to say about, hospitals and birthing hospitals, but I had the best nurses. I had the best experiences. I was young 20s having, babies. So, there's a lot I didn't know, and I was scared. And of course my mom was there, but it was just, I felt safe. And I felt supported, and I just had like beautiful births. So after that, it just brought the passion back, and I'm like, dang, I still like this. I want to go into it, but I didn't know how I was going to make it work. I had 2 little kids. I was working full time, and I was just like, I don't know. So God just put it on my heart to start like working towards it. So I would take a class here and there. Redoing my prereqs because it had been like 10 years. And after 10 years, those sciences, you have to redo them.
Exactly.
So, once again, I'm redoing prereqs, and this time it's like totally different because I have purpose, I have focus, I'm doing this because I want to do it, not because, oh, you graduate high school, you go to college, blah, 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 blah.
The regular track.
Right. I could see what I wanted to do. So this time I'm like acing my classes, still doing it slow because working full time, having little kids at home. It definitely was a process, but eventually I ended up just enrolling into a 2-year nursing program. By the grace of God, I was able to work part-time during that time. My husband was on the road and working full-time, so, made it happen.
Made it happen. So you have an associate's degree.
Yes, I do.
As a registered nurse.
Yes.
And I think if I could give anybody any advice, and you may agree, you may disagree, but I don't want you to be biased because you started out at a 4-year school with what it is that I'm about to say.
Yeah.
If you are ever thinking about going to nursing school, you guys, I highly recommend that you start at an associate's level.
Yes.
Reason being is because it's not expensive.
It's not.
For a certain amount of time, you can work and do classes. Yes. But once you graduate and you pass your NCLEX, which is the board certification that you have to take to become an RN, you're an RN.
Yeah.
And you start working at whatever facility you decide to work at, whether it's a hospital, long-term care facility, a nursing home, outpatient. But a lot of those places will pay for you to go back to school and get your bachelor's.
Yes.
So why spend unnecessary money when there's other avenues in which you can get your schooling paid for?
Exactly.
So the route that Kristen went, I am recommending.
I recommend that as well. I have no debt from the 2-year degree. Paid for my books, just cash. Ended up getting like a scholarship the second year that paid for a lot of everything, and just doing it by cash. And it's done. Like,
it's done.
I'm still have debt from 4-year college, and I didn't even graduate from that school. So I feel like I wish people knew that option is there, and you're going to be doing the same job. You're going to be taking the same exam as anyone graduating from a 4-year university. You can always go back and get your BSN. I just started mine, but
oh, really?
Yeah. I was supposed to do it like the next year, but after nursing school, I was like, I need a break.
Yes.
I don't want to see a book. I don't want to see nothing. And so I kept pushing it back. But this year I was like, you know what?
We're going to get it done.
Let me just start it.
Yes.
So yeah, but yeah, I highly recommend. And because like if you can go to school for basically not for free, but I mean for way less than, 4-year college, so why not?
I thought that in Maryland, I know you're in Virginia, but I thought in Maryland they have changed it where you can go to community college for free. Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard of it. I don't really, look into it. It may be, that may be. But
I'm going to look a little bit more into it.
There's so many like options and scholarships, like just stuff you don't know about. You know what I mean? You just look into it, and it was honestly basically free.
Yeah. So
Grants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got a grant one time too.
Yeah. So see all of those positive things that came out of this experience.
Yes.
So I'm always being told, and now I'm sharing, nothing is a waste.
Right.
Nothing is a waste.
Right, exactly.
We have this idea, but it's like God has a different plan.
That's right.
And his plan is perfect.
That's right.
And we have to rest in that.
Yes.
So you've been doing labor and delivery nursing for how long?
6 years.
For 6 years.
This year will be 6 years. Yeah.
Okay. And so what is your plan with nursing?
That's kind of why I went back this year, because for a long time I was like, I don't want to get my master's. I'm good. I'll just, stick with nursing. And then over the past couple years, I'm just like, I don't want to be bedside at like 60-something years old. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I work with a lot of older nurses too, and I just see them and I'm like, how are they still like there are days that I leave and I'm like, my back is killing me, my feet are killing me. It's been a hectic day, and I'm just like, how am I going to be able to do this in 25 years?
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me start like making things happen so that I do have options to still be in nursing and healthcare, but just doing
in a
something
different
else.
capacity.
Yeah,
that was what happened with me.
Yeah.
I wasn't even in nursing a good year, and I hurt my shoulder.
Oh man, yeah.
I got like bicep tendonitis trying to turn a patient by myself.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I said, oh no, I can't.
It's a lot.
I physically can't do this.
Right.
And so that's what spurred me on to go and get a master's degree.
Yeah.
So the very reason that you're speaking about was the same thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And pain and feet aching and all of that, it does not discriminate, you guys.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm believing that you are very heavily into exercising outside of work. So tell me about, I know you like to do Pilates. I know that the hubby, he has a workout business that he does.
Yes.
Did you get into that because of nursing or just other reasons?
I would say in nursing school is the first time I really started to take it seriously.
The working out.
Working out, yeah. I mean, I had been I was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
All that. I did ballet when I was a kid. So I was kind of, but I wasn't really into it like that. When I went back to school, the first semester of nursing school, I struggled because, if anyone has taken a nursing program, you just know, it's a different type of education. So
And commitment.
And studying. And so I struggled that first semester. Second semester, I met with one of my counselors, and she just talked to me about my schedule outside of school.
Okay.
So she sat down with me, and we just looked at how many hours I'm studying. I basically doubled my hours of studying, and I just literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, put times and what I'm doing that's going to benefit, me passing classes and all those things. So I started going to the gym. I just started going to Planet Fitness, and
I started, because I still go to Planet Fitness. Okay.
I mean, it was right up the street,
right?
And I started going, and it was kind of to pass time while my kids were still in school, waiting for them to get out and pick them up and stuff like that. And then I just made it more, consistent, and then I just started to notice the focus I would have after leaving the gym, the energy, the endorphins that it gave me, because it's a stressful time being in school. So I just felt
managing
so
life.
good, and I was like, man, I didn't know that this was gonna do this for me. So it was really a therapy to kind of relieve stress, to kind of feel better. I would have more energy because I'm generally I'm a person that needs caffeine. I need coffee in the morning, So it just gave me that boost, and I loved it because I was a better person. I was a better mom, for my kids. At the time, my husband was on the road full time, so it was just me. I was mom, dad, everything. So I was like, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing this, and that's how I got through nursing school. I would go to school, I would go work out, study, pick up my kids, do the mom thing, and then I would do it all over again.
Right.
So
how many hours a week were you working out?
Back then, I think I would go 5 days a week.
Wow.
But I was working part-time.
Right.
So, I mean, it's different when you start working full-time, of course, but I was working part-time, so I had a little bit more time. So I would fit it in with my study schedule and then with the kids and everything like that.
So with going back to school, it sounds like it caused you to have to develop a schedule.
Yes.
Budgeting your time.
Yes.
Very strict schedule, which is a very good thing.
Yes.
Because then you don't have a lot of time for a lot of unnecessary things that can get you caught up and not producing any type of results.
Right. And I had to. I'm the type of person I can easily get distracted. So I literally had to leave my house to study. I would go to the library every day. Because the first semester I'm studying in my house and I'm like, oh shoot, let me put the laundry in the let me take the meat out of the freezer because we got to, it's all these things that are coming up. And I'm like, this is not working.
Right.
So I went to the library. My phone was on silent.
Right.
I actually deleted all social media. Like Monday through Friday, I would not get on social media.
Yeah.
Like I was so serious because it was a different mindset at that time. And I was like, I have to make this work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm giving this chance now. By the grace of God, I didn't have to work full time. I had people in my program that were working full time.
Yeah.
And going to school full time. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I have to make this or I can't waste this. So I just did what I had to do. It was a very, very strict schedule, but I mean, the results, I got what I wanted. So
yeah, so that's it. You have to give up something. You have to lay down something if you're going to pick up something new. You know, you can't. It's so hard, but it's like you cannot hold on to everything.
You can't.
You know how they have that. It's not a meme, but it's something on social media where it's like a woman going up the stairs and she just has like all these boxes, all these bags, and it's just like, no, I gotta put this down.
Yeah.
Because this isn't serving me right now in this moment, and it's not gonna serve me where I'm going.
Right.
Because wherever we're going, we're gonna have to pick up new things at that time.
Right.
So if we're trying to hold on to everything that we need to let go of, how do we make room for the new things we have to pick up?
Yeah.
So when you were at the gym, what was one of your favorite things to do, favorite exercises to do?
Back then?
It can be back then or now.
Back then, I was a little crazy. I would stay like 2-3 hours.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You loved it.
I loved how I felt at the time. I would say cardio and I had started getting to like lifting weights. Yeah. Not like heavy weights, but a lot of people, like women, don't like to lift too much. But honestly, it builds I would say like the tone and the curvature of the woman's body, like, and actually it's better for weight loss than cardio. Yes. A lot of people don't know that. So I got into both, but I was just, at that time, I was just trying to stay active, and I just loved how I felt.
I love going to the gym.
Yeah.
Absolutely love going to the gym. And I know you can work out at home, but I think when you go to the gym, it's like it puts you in a whole different mindset. Yes. Just like if you go to the library, you're in the mindset of, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read. Exactly.
Yes. And seeing other people, you know, working out and other women, they inspire me. I'm like, oh my God, look at her. Like, what is she doing? I'm looking to see what she's doing. Like, it's an inspiration for me. And that's why I don't like working out at home. I always will go to the gym. But, and now I just picked up a couple of classes, Pilates, bar. I just started doing cycling. Those classes kill me, but
it's like a new challenge.
It's a new challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, it's a new challenge, and we have to do things that challenge us. We can't just stay in one place and do the same thing forever.
Right.
And you have seen a component of that with nursing, with the nurses that are still, you know, I would say maybe in their 50s, 60s, still doing something. And are they happy? I mean, you don't have to answer the question because I already know the answer. I wouldn't say they're not happy.
I've seen both. I actually worked with a nurse that I loved at a hospital in Virginia that I worked at, and she actually was my delivery nurse with my first son.
Wow.
So I ended up working at the hospital that I delivered my kids like years later. And I didn't know until it was my son's birthday, and I was like looking at old pictures to like post. I'm like, oh my God, she was my nurse. And now we're like work together. And I came and showed her the picture. I was like, I cannot believe that. But she was the sweetest lady, and she had been in nursing for like 40 years, but she was still so sweet, so compassionate. You know, in that field, you see a lot of people that have reached burnout, and they just, instead of, you know, doing something different, they just keep, you know, at the same job. And I feel like she wasn't there, and I'm just like, I would look at her and be like, wow, like how is she still so, you know? But I've seen both, and then I've seen the nurses that probably should have switched careers 20 years ago, or even found a different specialty, or you know, did something else, and they just, because it's comfortable, because it's what they know, they just you know, keep doing it, or they won't leave because, you know, their 401ks, you know, they don't want to they've invested so much, so I've seen both.
Yeah. So it's funny that you bring up, well, it's not funny, but you bring up burnout and how she's still passionate about what it is that she's doing. Does she do any type of activities outside of work that you think still keeps her ignited at work?
I don't work with her anymore, but I'm pretty sure she did. It sounded like she had a full life outside of work. And I know she was a Christian, she was a believer. And she may have been working part-time, maybe not full-time, but I'm pretty sure she did. And that is what helps me to try to avoid burnout. I learned that when I was working nights. I was like,
oh my God.
Having a full life outside of work is what keeps me just inspired to do what I do and taking breaks. It's so needed. It's so needed. I just took a week off. My husband and I went to Hilton Head, and for Valentine's Day weekend, I came back and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a week off between these contracts. And I had nothing planned. I wasn't going anywhere. I was just like, I just need a break. And that's okay. And that's like people like in this society, it's always like go, 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 and get to the bag and all that stuff. And I'm like, I did that. And you know, it didn't fulfill me, you know. Money is great, it's awesome, but if you're too tired and too like anxious and stressed, like what's the point of having the money? So, and then I went back to work and I was like, ooh, I love my job.
Right.
So it's
you
like
appreciate
you need a break
it.
sometimes.
Yes.
And you could be doing what you love every day, but because you don't give yourself grace to rest and to like just be, like you start to realize that burnout.
And now in talking about it, I don't necessarily know if work is the cause of burnout. I think it's not managing life, which makes you feel burnt out at work, because we've allowed our life to surround work instead of work surrounding our life. You know what I mean? And I think when we take the times to rest, we're transitioning from allowing our life to revolve around work. Instead, our work is revolving around our life. And I think that that's something that we have to do better, but that's a whole mindset shift.
It is.
And it's easier just to stay doing what you've been doing because that's all you know. In life, the reason things are uncomfortable is because we don't want to learn something new. We don't want to do something new. We don't want to take a step in another direction. And so that's why we don't learn. That's why we don't grow. That's why we don't change. And so, okay, you've taken a week off between contracts. So contract-wise, so she's working jobs where she's contracting for about 13 weeks or 8 weeks at a time. You can do that in nursing. You can either stay at a hospital and work there, or outpatient clinic, long-term care facility, or you can go to different facilities where they have shortages, where they need just extra help for whatever reason. Maybe they're doing a new build out, maybe they're transitioning in doing electronic health records and they need extra health support. That's when I did travel nursing. So when I did travel nursing in 2008, everybody was switching over to the electronic health record. And so they wanted more nurses on board so that we could take care of less patients to learn the computer system. So it's just different reasons why. Hey, nurses may be on strike in California and they need you to come out there and work. You know, we had the pandemic, you know, so there's so many reasons how you can get a contract with nursing. And so you do contract nursing now, and you've been doing that for a while.
About 3 years now.
And so that also shakes things up.
It does.
And prevents burnout as well. It does. A new environment is always refreshing.
It shakes it up, and I started for the money. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, money is always like, that's always the initial. You understand what I'm saying?
And I was like, let me just try it, you know. And I found a local contract. I only work locally. I always say like, oh, one day I'll go out to Cali, I'll do a contract, but I haven't done it yet. I've just been going locally. So I drive about 45 minutes to an hour out. But that's why I started. And then as I kept, doing the contract thing, I was like, wow, like I can take a week or two off between contracts and just like go on vacation, take a break. My first year, I think I took 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, this is so nice. Like I've never had a time to just really enjoy my family, enjoy the holidays. When you work in a hospital, a lot of times you have to work Christmas, you have to work Thanksgiving, you have to work those holidays and you don't get to be with your family. But I was like, now I have the option that if I don't want to work those holidays, if I want to, spend time with my kids, I can do that.
Right.
And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. So I kind of just kept doing it.
It created the work-life balance that you needed.
That I really, really needed.
Yeah.
So that's why I continue to do it. And the opportunity is always available. So I'm like, why not, so yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really good. So we've talked about your journey into nursing. We've talked about your nursing career. We've talked about your passion for working out. And so these things are all outlets.
Yes.
And you have another outlet that you enjoy. And what is that?
Content creation.
And so content creation, like lifestyle, like what exactly is the content creation that you enjoy the most?
I would say lifestyle is what I enjoy the most. I've always been like someone that wants to like go somewhere and try new things. And anytime I go to a new city, I am on TikTok or Instagram, like where do I want to go eat? Where do I want to stay?
Right.
So I'm like, why don't I, like, if I go somewhere, like, record where I am, record my experience, because
people
really
love
social
that.
media is the new Google. Like you can find out pretty much anything. So my husband and I, we are foodies. We go eat, we go on vacation. So I'm going to record it and I'm going to show you guys like, hey, like this is what I really liked about this place. This is what it looks like. Like this is what you can order. And like, so it's just fun for me. It's a creative outlet that I just have a passion for. So creating content, it's just another hobby for me. So, yeah.
We have to have multiple hobbies, you guys. I am in this leadership course at Union.
Okay.
And they talk about the hierarchy of needs. And when they taught us about the hierarchy of needs, I was like, oh my gosh. So this is the order in which life should be. Yeah. And when you can't balance everything. There are going to be times where this particular aspect of your life needs more of you. This particular aspect needs more of you. This child needs more of you. All of that.
Exactly.
But it at least gives you like a rubric.
Yeah.
And so first was your faith. That's it. You know what I mean? So after faith, then it was now y'all don't quote me on this, but it was your household. Okay? Anything that's in your household, your family. Okay? After that, like church was number 3 or 4. Okay. And not saying like attending. Right. Church is more so like serving. If you serve at your local church, your faith, your marriage, your household, then church, all of that has to be in order before you showing up the usher.
Trying to serve, right.
Okay? And so then after church is going to be hobbies. Hobbies come before your extended family. Wow. Extended family is mom, dad, sisters, brothers. You have a bunch of them. Right. Okay? Extended family, aunt, uncles, all of that. And then at the end is godly friends. Okay. So it's like your hobby comes before anything else, because guess what that does? It pours into you.
Into you, exactly.
And if you don't have a hobby, then you can't give anything to your extended family. Exactly. You can't give anything to your friends. Right. You can't give anything to, your church. You can't give anything, most of all, to yourself. Right. So when I learned that, I picked up tennis.
Okay.
and I am obsessed.
Wow.
I told my husband, so someone at the church was like helping me, you know, we would go out, play, give me some basic techniques and everything. And then, you know, go on YouTube and see like how to serve, all of that different kind of stuff. But I told my husband, I was like, I want a real tennis coach.
Right.
Like I want a real tennis coach. I want to get lessons for however long I need them for, maybe 30 to 90 days. I just want to be able to get out there and play competitively. Not like I'm trying to go to the Olympics or anything like that.
Right.
But I want to be an expert at playing. And I'm just like, I carry my tennis rackets in my car. Nothing is getting in the way of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think with the social media content creating and the working out, all the things that bring you joy, never stop doing that.
Never, yes. And you have to make it, you have to be intentional and make it a priority. Because especially as women, we just wear so many hats.
Yeah.
You know, you're a wife, you know, you're a nurse, you're a mother, you do this, you do that. But it's like, if I don't put that in my schedule, if I let something get in the way, then, you know, I'm missing out on something I could have did for myself that day. So, I mean, as much as I talk about self-care, but it's not really, it's not about me, but it's like, I want to give to you. So what do I need to do to fulfill me so that I can give to you?
Exactly.
And it makes me a better person. It makes me a better mother. It makes me a better wife when I come home. You know, my husband told me the other day, he was like, you just seem so happy. And I was like, I am. Because he's seen me, you know, when I was working night shifts and sleeping all day, and I would just be a zombie, and I just was like just getting through the week. You know what I mean? And I'm just like a different person now. But I had to make those choices. You know what? I had to like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Let me try to get on a day shift. I tried for 6 months to get on a day shift, and I finally got it. And I was like, okay, first step, second step. And I was like, let me get back in the gym. Let me figure out what I like, what fulfills me, what fills my cup. And I just feel so much better. And I was like, I can genuinely say that I am happy. And it's not because of what anyone else does for me. Like that's an inside job. To figure out what makes me happy.
What makes Kristen happy?
And so that's why I continue to do the things I love. And some people I work with, I'm like, oh my God, you have so much fun. You like, you have fun. Like, I'm like, I do because I do it on purpose.
Exactly. It's intentional.
It's intentional. So yeah.
Now, are you showing, because you're happy, are you showing up differently as a daughter? Are you showing up differently as an aunt, a friend?
I think so. I love hosting. So like, I'll just have my friends over, and we don't have to be celebrating anything, but I'll just have them over. You know, the other day we did like a movie night. I made like a charcuterie board, and I was just like, stuff like that makes me happy. Like serving others and seeing other people happy, like stuff like that makes me happy. So I feel like I show up as a better person, as a better mom, as a better wife. So that's why I continue to, Yes.
So you have it all.
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, you know what I mean. It's always more out there. You know what I'm saying? But as far as you're working in the career that you wanted to work in, despite the journey to that. You're taking care of yourself. You're very passionate about that. Your workouts, your routine, that type thing. And you are doing your content creating. You're hosting people. You're loving on people. But most of all, you're loving on you. So I would say you do have it all.
Thank you.
And so thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it so much. And in every show, you guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. And I want you to know that there is a hope that is attached to you. There is a purpose that's attached to you. And you were fearfully and you were wonderfully made to go and accomplish that. And I hope in this episode that you see how Kristen went about doing that. And I hope that you take away some gems and major things that can apply in your life. Until next time, I will see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.